Islam, 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 Islam. How are you? Islam, 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 Islam. Gonna get this meeting started in just short period of time. I need to send this link out. It's been an amazing Sunday. Very interesting Sunday though. Very interesting Sunday. Um, I want to talk about. We're going to talk about our turbans, our national headdress. Why it's so important. Um, the meaning behind it. Why we wrap our heads the way we do. All of these things. So we're going to go over that today. Really hope you guys enjoy it. Um, just trying to make sure I get these out to where they need to go. Ashara, did I send you the StreamYard? I hope so. Not sure as long. Waiting for some people to come in. I hope they come in and they're able to get the link and come in. I wanted this meeting to be a little more private than our usual meeting. And you are able to share it where you would like to share it based on where you would like to share it. But I wanted to make sure we brought this in like this. This is I think it is a sacred thing. It's a sacred, way to, certain things we do have to keep sacred, and I understand that. So that's why I felt it was important that we did it this way today, opposed to any other way. Still going to put the link up on Facebook. I am going to put the link on Facebook just in case. They may come. They may come in. They may not. Who knows? But we're going to go in and teach this anyway and get it going. Um, Trying to wait to see who may come in. See who is going to come in. I don't see nobody coming in. I don't know how this one's going to work then. See my sisters. I don't see my sisters, and I'm going to edit this video. Anyway, but I want to see where you guys are with this. I want us to understand some things when it comes to why it's important to keep certain things sacred. Even though sisters we do all have to learn how to wrap our hair. What the importance of it is, but certain lessons behind it is true. It should be kept sacred because it is something that you really got to know why you even do it. Like, why do we wrap our hair? What is the importance of this right over left? What does all that mean for us? I don't know why I can't find anything that I really need at this point. I might have to literally add a destination. Like, so sad. I'm waiting for someone to come in. Islam, Islam, Islam. You're live. We are live on YouTube. YouTube. YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. Live on YouTube. Islam, I don't know. I should have probably not left it on the list today. Let's see. We're gonna go on and make it. Let's see. What can we do to make this? Hmm, 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 hmm. No, it's live. It's live there. It's live. There is no banner there today. Islam, Islam, Islam. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Can we all stand as we recite our Moorish American prayer? We're going to turn to the east as going within. We put up 5 fingers on the left, 2 on the right, with our heels touching one another. Standing on our square, repeat after me. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Islam. Islam. I would like to first rise and give the highest praises to our Father God Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I would like to also rise and give holy high praises to Allah, the mother of the virtues, and the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. Islam. I'd like to rise and give honors to our illustrious and divine prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Islam. I'd like to rise and give honors to all the divine prophets for all the wonderful works that they brought unto us. Islam. I would like to now read our divine constitution and bylaws for the Moorish Science Temple of America. Salvation, Allah, unity. The Moorish Science Temple of America, the divine constitution and bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the grand body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be opened and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday, the first man was formed in flesh. And on a Friday, the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God, Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government. Because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and partial of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, color folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father God, Allah. Islam. Noble Drew Ali, founder, the Moorish Science Temple of America, home office of Noble Drew Ali, Chicago, Illinois, USA. Islam. Islam, Sister Shonda, it's so good to see you here. Islam. I am going to do the recitation for our additional laws for Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh is the governing head of our temple. All business of said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali before being acted upon by any member. Let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the member to sacrifice finance, that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under a heavy restriction, etc., by the Prophet or the Grand Sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend their ADAB meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second, he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. And if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is the lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. As I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while up making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guiders of the nation. Act 6, with us all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God, Allah. Islam. Islam. How are you doing today? I trust
Yes,
all is well
wow.
with everyone. Islam. Islam, Sister Shonda. So I'm not sure if you were able to see the title of the video of our live today, but we are going to talk about our turban and what it represents. Why we wrap our hair. It is a very sacred thing to do, you know. But we want to know like why we wrap it, what it means. Some people may ask that, what it represents. So today that's what we're gonna kind of dive into. And I would love your perspective because I'm sure you have some background in understanding what the head wrapping and all of that means to us and to that, for our people. So that's where we're going to go with this today. What do you think? Can you hear me? Are you at work? You might be at work and I might not can hear you. So I'm waiting for Rashira and a couple of more people to come on so that we can get started. Because Sister Rashira is going to bring us some knowledge on it. I will read from the Circle 7 until she gets here. I just wanted it to fall open for me today, in which I guess this is where it wants me to fall open. Islam. I just said, I'm going to allow spirit to move. I'm going to allow spirit to move me in what to actually, what to, uh-oh, uh-oh. I don't know what happened. It went away again. I allowed spirit to move and allowing spirit to bring in what it should. Oh, it's all right. It's good. Islam, it's all right. Islam, it's good. Now got me going out of this, and I don't like doing that because in Islam, my apologies. So back to it. I wanted to just fall open until the sisters are ready to come on and just kind of allow spirit, not even kind of, just allow spirit to lead in the message that should come across today. Islam to the people. And I'm coming out of, wow, interesting. I'm coming out of chapter 18. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet. Jesus appears fully materialized before Apollo and the silent brotherhood in Greece. Appears to Claudius and Juliet on Tiber near Rome. Appears to the priest in the Egyptian temple at Heliopolis. To me, in this chapter, he shows equality. Not only that, I'm looking at how many times he appears fully materialized, even after coming out of this tomb and them seeing him, watching him transmute. So now going to these places and appearing to show that this is real, that spirit really does move. Spirit doesn't die, that he can show up, and he doesn't necessarily have to be in the body you expect him to be in, but he can show up in different ways. And so that's why I said I want spirit to move. Islam, I wanted spirit to move today. Islam, let me see. Sister Shonda, yay, at the stage. So we're gonna let spirit move in the way that spirit should move. We're gonna let it move. And so that's where I'm coming from. I'm coming out of, hey, Islam, Sister Shonda, how are you?
Islam, since this internet messing with me today, I'm sorry, it kicked me off as soon as you were speaking to me.
It's all right. It's all right. I know you're at work listening, so I'll just get into it. But if you're able to come in and say something, don't hesitate to come in. You know what I'm saying? As you can.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
Islam. I am coming out of chapter 18. And it's the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet. Jesus appears fully materialized before Apollo and the Silent Brotherhood in Greece. Appears to Claudius and Juliet on Tiber near Rome. Appears to the priests in the Egyptian temple at Heliopolis. So he's showing equality in this one. He's showing true equality amongst us. And so I want to come from there. I'm going to start at 6. Instruction 6. The gods have spoken to the Greeks and kindred tongues through image made by man. But Allah, the one, now speaks to man through Jesus, which is justice, the only Son. So I'm going to stop right there. Let me say this. In our 101s, it says, what does the name Jesus mean? The response is Jesus means justice, right? Islam. So the gods have spoken to the Greeks and kindred tongues through image made by man, but Allah, the one, now speaks to man through Jesus. So Allah speaking through Jesus, which is the justice that's being brought, who was and is and evermore will be. Islam. Now I want to go to 31. The Nazareth appeared and stood upon a sacred pedestal on which no man had ever stood. This was an honor that had been reserved for him, who first would demonstrate the resurrection of the dead. When Jesus stood upon the sacred pedestal, the master stood and said, all hail. The great bells of the temple rang, and all the temple was ablaze with light. And Jesus said, all honor to the masters of this temple of the sun. In flesh of man, there is the essence of the resurrection of the dead. This essence, quickened by the holy breath, will raise the substance of the body to a higher tone and make it like the substance of the bodies of the planes above, which human eyes cannot behold. There is a holy ministry in death. The essence of the body cannot be quickened by the holy breath until the fixed is solved. The body must disintegrate, and this is death. So it must depart flesh. And then upon these pliant substances, Allah breathes, just as he breathed upon the chaos of the deep when the worlds were formed. And life springs forth from death. The carnal form is changed to form divine. The will of man makes possible the action of the holy breath. When will of man and will of Allah are one, the resurrection is a fact. In this we have the chemistry of mortal life, the ministry of death, the mystery of deific life. My human form was wholly given to bring my will to tune with the deific will. When this was done, my earth task all were done. And you, my brother, know full well the foes I had to meet. You know about my victories in Gethsemane, my trials in the courts of man, my death upon the cross. You know that all my life was one great drama for the sons of men, a pattern for sons of men. I have lived to show the possibilities of man. What I have done, all men can do. What I am, all men shall be. The master's look. The form upon the sacred pedestal had gone. But every temple priest and every living creature said, praise Allah. Islam. So I chose, it fell open for me. But when I look at this and I look at how I've grown through this movement, and yes, sometimes my hair is not wrapped, but I'm understanding this sacredness and what I've grown into in wrapping my hair in the proper way of wrapping my hair. Um, it's an elevation. So when I'm looking at this chapter for myself, and what I read, what I attempted to read and spoke from and speaking from saying, I see an elevation. I've seen it in myself. Yeah, not it wasn't never important to me that, like, why wrap your hair? Why do that? I understand the importance. I understand as I gain this knowledge and as I am learning more about myself, I need to protect my double-edged sword. That's what I call. That's why I say it's there. It's there to protect my double-edged sword, which was my right and my left brain. Because it can be exposed. Your thoughts can be exposed if your head is open. People can see you. They see the light. They know that the light is shining behind you. That's why it says a blaze of light. There was a blaze of light. So when Jesus stood upon the sacred pedestal, the master stood and said, all hail, the great bells of the temple rang, and all the temple was ablaze with light. It's this essence. It's the oh man, I wish I could see this chat. It's the essence, Islam. It's that essence, you know what I'm saying? So it's the blaze of light that comes around you. You carry a light now. So the importance of wrapping your hair with the turban and the way that it's wrapped is important for that reason. For me, that's my measure on it. Everyone else may have their certain measure on why they wrap their hair, what they think it resembles, what it stands for. Islam. Um, and I feel, as we're speaking this holy breath, we have sacred headdresses. These are our national headdresses, from the fez to the turban. It's for when we're up there demonstrating. We're demonstrating within our higher essence of self. Even understanding what that fez means, how you have more than just like 360 degrees of knowledge, because the next step is even more knowledge that you're reaching. You're constantly reaching these degrees and these circles and these cycles of knowledge. From here, this is why it unfolds. So to some, the turban represents, for me, it represents the flower, the tulip, because it can take us back into that Turkish Ottoman Empire. You can see that the way that it's folded, it resembles a tulip. To some, they say the rose, same thing. But these are flowers that unfold to show the bud. It unfolds so that you can unfold within self. So even as we cross these, they get higher and higher. Some mothers in the temples, you can see where they got plenty degrees. That's what they're in representation of a degree of knowledge. So that's what they really represent. You know what I'm saying, Islam? And so that's the way I see it for my demonstration. Sister Shonda, if you could express feeling anything behind that, or what you might see the turban as in representation to, or what it could mean to you, if you could come on and say anything at this time. I'm
Can you hear me
looking up
good?
something. Yes, I can hear you.
My sentiment is basically the same as yours. At number one, like I know you probably can identify with this because you meditate too. When you deep in meditation, you can even feel that energy up in your crown chakra moving. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that to say that that's how real that center is. So much with my journey, I've learned to appreciate the sacredness of even being taught to cover that up when we're dealing with energies, especially when you have to deal with public speaking and stuff like that.
Yes.
Um
Yes.
it also, for some reason, for me, I feel beautiful when I put it on. Not that I don't
Woo.
feel beautiful without it on, but it's like a crown. It's like I feel a different energy when I put that on. And it's also like an announcement. It's like people automatically just acknowledge that light when they see that on your head. It makes them think differently when they see you. And some people don't have the knowledge that we have, so they need that extra indicator to know, like, okay, that sister's something special, or she's in the world but not of it, it's kind of special. So I love it for all of those reasons. And then the colors you can also play with when it comes to like your crown and what energy you're trying to channel for that day or project for that day. So I love it for all those
It's
reasons.
long, yes. Come on, yes. And so that's why the
Islam.
the right over left is long. That's why that right over left is important. I don't know, is my thing kind of buffering? It seems like it's slowing down. Hold on. See if I take this off because I'm not sure what's going on. It seems like I'm lagging, like the video might be not catching up. I don't know. It's not doing it. All right. So anyway, I want to come and like talk about that tulip situation. Oh goodness, there it goes. Okay, let's take that off real quick. I'm gonna take that off because I'm not sure if it's that could be why it's falling behind and not catching up to where it now it is. All right, perfect. So I wanted to talk about that tulip because as you were just saying, it is a sacredness. It does feel it's a difference. And when you look at other cultures, I remember I went to Vegas with some of my best friends not long, was it last year? Last August for one of my friend's birthday. And so we when we got in the Uber, the young man said that he really loves seeing like sisters or women in cultural attire. He says the one thing he can respect about the Africans that when he picks them up, they always have their heads wrapped and their attire is so cultural and beautiful. Like they walk in their royalty. And when I have my turban on, I do feel of a royalty. I feel like you said, it's a feeling. It's an energy that's exuded. And it feels very hierarchy. It feels royalty. It does make you feel very royal, not in a egotistical way either. Just you really feel good about yourself. Your head is held differently. You walk different. You just show up differently when it's on your head in respect. Islam. So I love that about it. Also, I remember when I also went to the Million Man March. It was just the one that happened some 10 years ago or however long ago, the last one that just happened. And I remember I just had a scarf around my head, but I kept wondering why people kept staring at me. And so the sister I was with, so the Nation of Islam escorted us there. Like they drove us, literally escorted us to the march. So I'm in the whatever you call it, caravan with two sisters. One no, four sisters. Two of them were from the Nation, and me and the other sisters, we were of the more science temple. So we go up there and I'm like, why are these people staring? They just keep staring. So one of them had to say, because they could see your light. And it was always of other nationalities that just would be staring. And I'm like, what is that about? So that was another reason why when I learned how to wrap this turban and wrap it on my head, how it became even more sacred and important to me then too. And understanding I can't just keep exposing myself. All right, that's where that's coming from. But not understanding then even the importance of the turban, because then I wasn't even wrapping my head in the turban. So this tulip and the turban, why I love the tulip and the turban, and why I connect them together, right? Some are gonna come on and say the rose, but I'm gonna give the tulip. Tulips are spring blooming perennial, herbaceous. Hold up, bulbiferious in the Tulipa genus. Their flowers are usually large, and you could just Google this really. Hold on one second. Let me get Shonda back up here. I know she's at work, and she's at work, and she just she's coming on as she can. They're usually large, showy, and brightly colored, generally red, orange, pink, yellow, or white. They often have a different colored blotch at the base of the tepals. Internally, because of a degree of a variability within the populations and a long history of cultivation. Classification has been complex and controversial. The tulip is a member of the lily family, along with 14 other genera, where it most closely related to the Amina, Erotherium, and the Gagia in the tribe of Lily. I need to do more on that one. Now, I've done a demonstration on the tulip and the turban before, but those notes are like in my in my storage unit. Would you like to give any thing why because I want to look up something that I'm looking for a keynote to why the tulip and the turban are so important to me.
I know one thing I noticed you were touching on how when you went to the Million Man's March, I think that's so dope. I've never been. But how the Uber driver, like, I think it goes for all of our people, no matter what nation you come from, the melanated people, like we are just respected more when we're out in public by men and just by the public in general because it just denotes, like you said, it's the energy. It is not an egotistical type of feeling of royalty, but it actually is acknowledged by people we encounter, like they see us that way truly. And I think it could be
Yes.
beneficial. Or and I need to get back into wearing mine. I need to talk a personal conversation about that because my locks are so long now, and it's just I can't find a
Mm-hmm.
comfortable way to do it. So I have
Mm-hmm.
to figure that out. But
Okay.
I
Okay.
definitely
I
want to get
love
back
it.
into it.
Yes, yes. We got to have a turban wrapping ceremony where all the sisters can really sit and wrap each other's turbans for one another. That's a love exchange. That's an energy exchange. I feel that is important for us. So, hey, Islam, Isha, Islam, sis,
Islam,
Is
peace and love.
peace and
Islam?
love. I don't know if you've been tuning into the live, but we're talking about the importance of the turban and what it means to you. And if you could choose a flower that would represent it, which flower would you choose? So that's some of what we were talking about. So I was just explaining to Sister Shonda, I did when I was with 33, I did a demonstration on the tulip and the turban, but those notes are in storage. So the way that it was broken down was so beautifully because the prophet always mentions certain things. So the reason why I went back to the tulip because it's such an ancient type of flower, and it goes back to the Turkish. The Turkish. It's a from the Turkish love affair to Dutch tulipomania obsession. First cultivated in Turkey, the tulip traveled from east to west, Islam triggering the tulip mania, the world's first economic bubble and almost ruining the Netherlands, crashing the tulip market in 1637. Yet it remains one of the most beloved flowers. So I always look at it in the way that it folds over from that right to left situation, Islam. And when we think about when the prophet talks about we're the Turks, right? We can go back into chapter. What's the chapter? Am I in the right chapter? Do y'all know where I'm going with this? The Mexicans, the river. Is that where they are? Oh, I got to make sure I'm in the right one. Oh, there it is. Islam. All right, ready? It's out of chapter 45, the divine origin of the Asiatic nation. And we could go to 7, where it says the Turks are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca, beginning from Muhammad the First, the founder of the uniting of Islam, by the command of the great universal God Allah. Islam. So when I looked at that and I did the demonstration, I went back to that, to chapter 45 in that, and I looked and I said, wow, it is. This can go further back than what we can even bring something from on these shores because it would trap the way that they even said it navigated Islam. And Sister Isha, I would love for you to speak on what you feel it is because you are an herbalist. She teaches me so much about flowers and plants. So I know she has a whole lot she can say about this. and give us some really good information on, why we wear it, what it means to her also. Islam.
You gonna put me on Front Street? Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm always, this front street lady over here. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
Islam. Okay, so for me, the turban, so I wasn't necessarily when I came into the movement or a part of more science, wasn't necessarily wearing turbans, but of course they say you wear your scarf and you can tie it around a certain way, but it never was for me in a way of symbolic until I came into more science and you brought it to my attention where you were saying about the tulip and anytime I see our hair wrapped or something like that, it reminds me like a bud of a flower. So like a rose, um, the building of the rose, or also the bud of the tulip as well. So anything that's representing something that's love and honor. Usually when people see a red rose, they say, oh, it's more so a romantic or endearment of love. So for me, it looks like almost we're evolving. So it's more so of that of the rose from the bud to the blossoming all the way out. So for me, yeah, I didn't make that connection until you said that about the tulip when we was talking about it then. And I'm like, oh wow. But I do see many other flowers just depending on how the sister may wear it. You know, most people may see it as a lotus flower because that's more so transformation, unveiling, depending on what colors, what you wrap it with, what's your adornment from hanging it or um yeah, so for me, I didn't have too much knowledge on it, but I like learning from y'all wearing your hair wrapped and I'm getting my scarves up and you helping me. So, I try to do what I can and people telling me, hey, help me. And I'm like, nah, I just kind of flow. I never had and you was telling me about the measurement. So I never like measured it. It was just like, oh, wrap it and, tuck it. And I was like, oh, it was just something I did. So now that I'm learning coming into this just keep teaching me. I'm here to learn and pass on to our children and yeah.
Islam. I love that. I love that. And Sister Isha, do tulips, do they grow like all times of the year? Or are they like, because they're perennials, correct?
Yep, they're
Look at me
perennial.
trying to be like you. They're perennials, ain't they?
They may be sometimes well most of them I would say like annuals because they'll be that one time a year, but it just depending on I'm thinking of it like a daffodil because it yeah, all of them like annuals. They'll from one time of year they'll spring up and they'll show you who they are comes to spring, and after then they'll just kind of die back. The flower die back, but you'll see the at least the leaves, and from there
Okay.
the fruit they go back into a ball because it's a rhizome. It's a ball. It's a bulb. So that's what it is naturally. So the top is what you just see, but underground is how it manifests every year. So it is a perennial when it comes back. But it's a bulb. That's why
Ooh,
everybody able to transplant and they multiply underground. So that's why I love tulips. Yeah. Tulips, all
Islam. Islam, sis. Okay, so I'm gonna read a little bit more because I want to say this is where I pulled it from, and I'm real big on DuckDuckGo. I like DuckDuckGo before I like Google. I'm gonna be honest. So if I'm gonna search for something, I really want to go deeper than what Google can give to me. I go for DuckDuckGo because DuckDuckGo is not tracking you. It's gonna give you things that probably Google won't. Um, so it's an article called "The Interesting Engineering." Interesting Engineering is the website, right? And it says the history of the tulip takes us on a journey that goes from Central Asia, we're Asiatics, to Turkey to the Netherlands. How did this precious flower go from being a Turkish love affair to a Dutch obsession that triggered the tulip mania, the world's first speculative economic bubble in 1637? Turkey and the Netherlands are two distinctively different countries in every imaginable way, yet they have something in common: the tulip. From being a pretty wild flower in the East to becoming an exotic, priceless, extravagant flower in the West, the tulip has fascinated nations for centuries up to the present day. Every spring, tulips bloom from March to April, bringing a palette of radiant colors and a feeling of joy after the long, dark winter. If the weather is nice and cool, tulips may last for a week or two in full bloom. Tulips enjoy a short but celebrated life before becoming dormant again. Tulips in general are symbols of perfect love. Different colors also carry different meanings, like many other flowers do. Red tulips are associated with true love. Purple symbolizes royalty. Yellow tulips once represented hopeless love, but most recently, they have been associated with joy, cheerful thoughts, and sunshine. While tulips are usually used to represent purity and respect or to express forgiveness, pink tulips are a symbol of caring and good wishes. You know what it's reminding me of, y'all, Sister Isha? These cleansing rites. It would be a good flower to use as a cleansing rite. It sounds like Islam.
Islam. Oh yeah, for sure. Especially going through different flower essences, you can bring forth that, just depending on the toxicity. Hopefully it's, it's not, but the flower essence also bring a emotional feeling, a relaxation of the nervous system as well. So when we bring forth the flowers and cleansing rites, we're dealing with the cleansing on many levels, not just people say
Hmm.
when we was talking about physically cleanse, like what do you do
Right.
every day to feed yourself and to calm your nervous system. So yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yes, that's beautiful. And like you guys were saying, you and Sister Shonda, I know she's at work, so she's under the what do you call it, parking deck. So it probably knocked her out. But like you were saying, and even her, the different colors represent so much. So even as we're reading this, and it talks about how it goes from the east to the west, and you can see the symbology of who we are through this tulip, through what Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought through this Holy Quran. You know, um,
Islam. Mhm.
the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. So it's like, wow, how you can see the prophet when you read things. My teacher, Brother John, would always say, hey, when you pick something up and read it, if you don't see the prophet in it, put it down. Like just put it down because it'll start causing confusion. Put it
Mm,
down. If there's no way that you can see it, but I'll pick up things and it'll be stuff like this. And I'm like, ooh, there's so much of the circle seven in that. You know what I'm saying? So much of the Holy Quran in this text. Where I'm like, dang, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, you was right. You said I left my footprints clearly cut. We got to follow these footprints though. So when I was reading from the chapter 18 and talking about how he stood as this blaze of light and enfleshed this essence, as you were just saying, this flower essence, this essence of the resurrection of the dead, even as these flowers do that same thing. Like you said, go underground to do that thing and then they come up. So as that resurrection of the dead, are you serious? The tulip, how much more? That had to be the highest headdress he gave to us as sisters.
mm.
Because look at the greatness of that tulip. That tulip is amazing. You're like, what? You just said underground, it does its thing. Then it blossoms into who it's supposed to be. Exactly the way it's the rose that grew from the concrete, like Pac said. Like Pac said.
Yeah.
Pac said the rose grew from the concrete. So the rose too, as you were saying too, and Sister Jasmine gives a very good demonstration on that
Sure.
through our sister's auxiliary logo with this crescent moon and star and the roses in there to represent us unfolding into these beautiful flowers, as you were saying, Islam. So could
Islam.
you kind of give a little more on that too? Because I love when you talk about the essence. There's many essence you have turned me onto that help me during my day. The one for fearlessness, being very just my composure and things like that. Anxiety, like just the things that really help me navigate my day where I'm not like, letting the world do this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more so like your regimen also goes into your cleansing rites or things that you want to stay harmonious in. So some of the essence that we have is like clematis. That's a beautiful flower too. People use that also for different salads depending on the flower. They can use topping of the what's it called, the flowering, the petals. They can use the petals for like salads and things like that, but you also can extract it for medicine like we said and put it in as an extract or a tincture. So clematis, what else we use down there, cherry plum, that's also coming from a tree. You have agrimony that coming from a plant as well, like roots. So it just depends on what we are actually targeting or what you want to, what's your goal. Nobody wants to walk around with anxiety and nervous system all in a bunch because we start to have different ailments going on when we feel that way. So for me, I just utilize my tools. Either it's getting some tea, brewing some tea, taking the flower essence or the block flower remedies, essential oils, the external as well, bathing,
Yes.
in the flower essence or spraying the flower essence or a certain type of true incense that we use. Everything just to make you stay at a peace or a calmful state. You want to make sure your energy is in line. So it's more so like your subtle energies. So everything on the outside,
Islam.
don't think you can get affected by your subtle energy. So we use the flower essence in many ways. So
Islam.
yeah. So, oh yeah, I did
So,
just make rose water, and I did just make a rose water downstairs with the rose petals. So for my client, what I'm gonna do, since she's also a new mother, her um her energy is low right now. So and she's feeling like it's a lot going on, but like a little shifty and the baby, you just feel that as a new mother, many energies. So what I'm doing is brewing up or just letting it sit, the rose petals and the lemongrass from the yard that we did. And I also have like some lemon balm that I'm using and like calendula, something that's soft. And then I use a little bit of the lavender buds. So something soft that smells good. And she also wanted like a zest of lime, which also brings up your energy. So just a touch of that so she can spray at least where she's at, where the baby is at is natural. It got the spring water. So
mhm.
it changes the mood. So when we use things like that, that's also a cleansing ritual for herself to get in balance. So make sure she's in alignment
Islam.
with herself. But she can also use it as a face regimen. She can keep it light, so misting, keeping her up, up prepped, not prepped,
Yeah.
like alert,
Mhm.
alert. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I love that. One thing I gotta give our sister Aisha Raj, she is our herbalist. I call her our herbalist of the movement. She, like I said, she teaches class. She does do classes, but y'all have to look out for them. So they're not like, what I'm saying. You can't just be like, hey, can you teach me? No, like
I get
she puts
that.
these classes together, and you guys have to look out for her because she's very amazing at what she does, and she really takes the time to teach because it's something she had to help herself with, as
That's
she
right.
can say for herself.
That's right.
But I enjoy it because she teaches me a lot, and it helps. And everything she teaches me to understand, and I got to learn from myself. I can't just be like Isha. She'd be like, "Go read this. Here,
I get the book.
read
Yep.
this." She ain't just gonna tell me like, "Yeah, we could do this." She's like, "Nah, read up on it first. Like, read it first, so
Yeah.
that I know what I'm actually doing, what I'm getting into, how it's gonna affect me." She's like, "Pay attention to all that." So I love her for that, and so I want you to please let them know where they can find you, Aisha Rock.
Okay, yes. Y'all can find me at smypharmacy.com. That's SMAIFARMACY.com. Also on social media platforms, I am Aisha the pharmacist. I'm gonna say my real name. I'm gonna say real
Right,
name.
I love it.
Aisha the pharmacist, AISHATHE pharmacist with a FARMACIST. Then also on YouTube, we do have some different beautiful videos that we're uploading. So subscribe to our YouTube at Smile Pharmacy GTV. So that's our growing television network. So we're gonna work on that some more. But
Yes.
yes, yes, Islam.
So
Yes, thank you.
this is what we need. This is why I say it's important for the sisters to support each other as sisters, because sisters are a lot of sisters have a lot of things that they do. And it's important for us to start shining light on the sisters. The brothers, I ain't think about none of them. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Whatever, I'm not thinking about them. My sisters are the most important to me. That's why these things are becoming private. This is why Facebook is subscribing after today. You'll have to subscribe to talk to Isha or anybody else. It's going down because no more do we have time to play games. Everyone's serious about their craft. Everyone's serious about their health, healing their children. So we got to get more serious about our lessons. We got to get more serious about these head wraps. We got to get more serious about how we're showing up, the way we're showing up. You know what I'm saying? In all those ways. And we have to start holding each other accountable. We sisters, we got to stop excusing each other's bull crap. I tell Isha stay on me all the time. Because if I'm gonna wear this, I need to be making sure I'm representing in the best part of who I am. You know what I'm saying? Call me out on it. Do not let me walk around here. I'm representing Allah. Oh, I don't play about Allah. Maybe everybody else play with God. I don't play with God. I don't play with Allah. I'm not playing because my grandma said you get shot down by the lightning. And I was always scared of the lightning. Y'all was like, oh, she said they're gonna get the lightning.
Strike me down. Yeah.
So we have to really show up and hold each other accountable. Sister Vashira is here. That's one I could tell you between Sister Vashira. That's the first one I said, you know what, I need to do better. Because she always has her hair wrapped. And I'd be like, I just want my hair to be free today. I want to be free. I don't want it wrapped today. I want to be free. So y'all gotta excuse me. That'd be just me dealing with myself.
You have
Islam. I'm sorry. I mean,
Y'all
I just have to
started
be
without
honest. It's the
me.
truth. Isha wraps her hair, and I'll be like, man, I need to wrap my hair today because she got her hair wrapped. I mean, I need to do better. It's
Today,
just to
not
show me
today.
I need to do better. At least I can say that.
Okay. I'm leaving for my meeting.
Okay.
You
Amazing.
started without me.
I mean, what time is it? I thought you said 3:30. It's 4.
It's 3 my time. You started 3 o'clock your time. I said, oh, she started
Oh,
without
it's
me.
okay. What you say, Isha?
Yeah,
It's divine time. Say it, Isha. I'm gonna be quiet.
You knew I was about to say it too. I was about to say she right on divine time. She came right on in. Come
it's
on in.
fine.
Come on into the
I
room.
am. I'm coming into the room. I'm trying to get my
Yeah.
sister. I said my sister, my daughter, to join in the room, and I told her that I told her to come on until I got on, until I got home.
And she didn't want to come on. So Isha was just giving us like flower essence. You know, she's a herbalist. I was just telling her to introduce herself to everybody on our platforms because the sisters need to link with her so we can understand these herbs and how we use them and what we need. So these classes that she offers are very important. So that's what
Okay,
we were just coming for.
different herbs.
Yeah,
Okay,
because you know we're talking about the flower and the tulip and the rose and all of that. And I want your demonstration on the turban.
okay. You have to give me 10 minutes for that because it's written a lot of information that I wrote down, a lot of words that I don't really know how to pronounce, so I have to read. Coming all the way goes all the way back to the Ottoman Turkish Empire. It's a lot of Arabic words that was written down, and so I can give a demonstration um, about the origin of the tulip and how that represents our turban, and that was the originated. That was the flower before the rose. Correct? Is that what you spoken to me about?
It was more
Do you know where you
ancient than
found
the
that at?
rose.
It's
It
more
was more
ancient than the
ancient than the
rose.
rose. It is. I wish I had. Sometimes I had it all there, but
I
this
was
one.
looking for you on the Facebook Live. I didn't know if we were streaming today on Facebook Live or not. So I was looking for you on that on my other on my phones because I was trying to hurry up and get in before we actually. Well, I was still at the end of our Sunday
Oh, the
class meeting.
new. Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure because Facebook is subscribing, and I'm not sure if they're already pushed it and made it. I don't know. I just pushed live because when I pushed to just do it on YouTube, I didn't know
Uh
if
huh.
people were getting the link. So I just flipped it and made it go live on Facebook.
Okay. Well, if you guys can give me like 10 minutes, I'm about to go. I'm headed in, and I just listening in for right now on what you guys were speaking on.
Okay.
Do you mind?
No problem at
Why are you looking
all.
like that, sister?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody just came up. Ah, there she is. Look who's there. Your
Cordasia,
twin
can
Islam.
you talk? Can
Islam.
you speak to her about some things until I actually get in the house
I don't
and
know.
take
So
your
what am I
bonnet
talking
off?
about?
You have to. I need you to take your bonnet off, please.
No.
How do
Yes.
you do that?
Yes, and go put on a turban. You can push the camera so you won't be on camera.
I'm
You
gonna
have to
just take the camera
represent.
off. I'm gonna just take the camera off.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So, Sister Isha was giving us some background on essence, on herbal essence, and the things we could use to cleanse. Because the other night we talked about spiritual cleansing, but even through spiritual cleansing, our head wraps are important because it helps us to keep our thoughts. To me, it also too, it helps in keeping the thoughts clean when we
Mm-hmm.
keep this covered. Islam. So Isha was giving us some background on different essences that we could use to help us with anxiety and things that we deal with to help us raise ourselves up into a higher essence, as I like to say. Because in the flesh of man, when we come out of this chapter of 18 on 35, it says, in the flesh of man, there is the essence of the resurrection of the dead. The essence, quickened by the holy breath, will raise the substance of the body to a higher tone. I feel our turbans raise us up to a higher tone. Islam.
Islam.
So y'all either one of y'all want to kind of go off of that and give something from that while we wait on Sister Bashira, if y'all don't mind. And open.
Uh, I have always known that your turban is what keeps your head covered. I mean, is what protects you. But I'm a little bit confused on I guess a sacral standpoint. Are we
Uh-huh.
supposed to wear our turbans out?
Outside?
Yeah,
Yes, you
like in
are.
certain
You are.
areas. Are there certain?
Well, you should always have your turban on. It's no different than we see our sisters in the nation. They always have their hajis on. You're seldom see them without their hair covered. When they come in the hair salon, we have to either go in a private room or make sure it's something that nobody can see them.
Oh, okay.
Because your hair is supposed to only be sacred for your mate, your husband. That's the only person that you really should see your locks or your crown. Am I correct? Am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're correct.
What you think, Ish?
Listen, hold on.
Huh? You hear me,
Um,
Sister?
I have to replay what you said. You said, "Are you wrong for something saying about the only wearing your hair cover for your husband? I mean, for your mate."
No, I was saying your head should only be exposed, like your locks or your crown should only be exposed to when you're in the house with your mate, your husband. Like, well, what I'm saying. You're not supposed to expose your head and stuff outside in public, isn't it? For the sacred reason that your husband is only supposed to see it. Is that where does that come from? Maybe I'm tripping. I'm not sure. Let me be
Well, no, you're
quiet.
not tripping. What you say?
No, I think that
Islam.
is. I
Which
think that
verse?
is. Here, baby.
Hold
Is
on,
That
I'm
how
gonna
comes
it's
from
look
the
for a
supposed to
verse
go. I think
for
it's
that
her.
just
comes from
like
the Islam tradition, from
Yeah, I
Islam,
was about
from
to say.
the Arabic tradition. For that's how they do. We wear our hadith. It's in the hadiths.
I do.
That was that
yeah. That's what I
tradition.
was just
It's
about to.
not.
Mm-hmm.
It's that religion based off of that to not show your hair being, because you have to be modest. They practice modesty. Well, we all
Mm-hmm.
practice modesty, women, but it's a hadith. It's haram to actually show your hair in the presence of any man outside of your household. You're supposed to have everything
Mm.
covered. That's the only thing supposed to be shown is your eyes. And it also symbolizes how deep you are within your submission of Allah, of just showing your eyes to see and nothing else, of being modesty too. So it just goes on a sacred level of how deep you into your religion. It's different levels because everyone doesn't cover their whole face. You have certain ways that people wear their hijabs due to their certain cultures and how they were taught.
Islam.
That's
All
what I
right.
was so. But it was so we can wear our turban. We can show our hair. I was told we can show our hair.
All right. So it's nothing wrong with us showing our hair because I feel like our hair needs air. Our hair still needs to breathe. It still needs the sun. Like I
Hmm.
think that
That's
as a
important, especially with the sun
yeah
and water. You know, certain things, especially if you used to
yeah
ocean water, beach water, getting certain type of things in your hair. We don't have to, it does need to breathe. I don't think
yeah
it's
it
like
does.
story or law.
It has to. It has to. If not, it'll die up under all this stuff covering it because it would be like smothering a plant. You know how you can cover put too much stuff over your what did my friends do? They would grow in the garden and they seen stuff growing and then they just threw a whole bunch of soil back over it and killed everything, knocked it all out. So your hair gets dry also under these turbans. So there's special ways that you should be conditioning and cleansing your hair. Like it's important. Those are cleansing rights too to the hair, as you were saying. You should that from the ocean water to the river water to the well water, all that stuff is really important. As long
Yes, in the sunlight. Yes, all that. So we have a verse. It's a verse Surah 24,
Mhm.
verse 30, 31. It said according to this verse, Muslim women should cover themselves modestly. It specifies only that their bosoms be covered. The Quran doesn't, however, spell out the details of such of covering or like certain coverings we should cover. But that came out of
mm,
the Holy Quran, Surah 24.
Islam, the Quran of Mecca, and also see the brother Allah in his laws when he spoke, he said sisters have to wear high necks because we catch cold in our lungs.
Hmm.
So he was like, not of exposing the chest, also, what you were just saying, not of exposing your chest out when you go outside because we do catch cold in our lungs. So he specifically gave that as a type of dress also. So I can see where that correlates together as well. I love that. That's cool.
So, Issa, you were speaking on the essence of different type of oils that you can use.
Yes, I went from the Bach flower remedies, that flower essence, unto the essential oils aromatherapy. So I know certain flower essences like the clematis, the agrimo, cherry bomb, the wild oak. What else? There's so many flower essences you can use to tap into the nervous system. So it depends on if
Mhm.
you want to become, be optimistic, have focus, have clarity, some harmonization with oneself. Is different flower essences that taps into that you're gonna need on a daily basis because of different things put our body in situations. You can get out of balance from talking to somebody, from walking, from music that you listen to, encounter with somebody. The Black Flower remedies, you can make it into a tincture. You can spray it. You can wear it any type of way. You can put it in like your lotions. Start to bring your nervous system at a harmonious.
Okay. Sister Latae, can you mute her mic?
Oh, that's somebody.
It's my
Oh,
My
okay.
daughter.
apologies, Islam. My apologies.
Is
I
okay.
was like, I didn't know what was going on, but but yeah, it's more so the flower essence because at a certain point, if you're making it, or they would call most of these flower essence like on a toxic scale. If you like to get some of them outside, if you happen to find something like a clematis outside and you trying to take an essence from it, it can become toxic unless you do some research behind it and you're a really good chemist. But most of the time I just buy mine in a bulk or wholesale. It is more so helping with my emotions, with everyone's emotions. It taps into that flower essence, your emotion. So it's on a
So do
50.
you
Oh,
do
go
you
ahead.
think that by you or do you actually can you digest certain type of some of these herbs that you're speaking of? Can you digest these, or it's just basically essential oils that you just use for like aromatherapy? Are these ones you digest?
Okay, so somebody's beeping. Can you hear me? Oh, I didn't want to talk.
Yeah, some beeping.
Okay, can you hear me now?
It's a call. It's a call
I'm
light.
not sure. It's not. I hear it too.
Okay, okay.
It's a
Well, I don't know what it is, but the flower essence is it's like a small extract that goes straight into your bloodstream. So it's immediately it changed the energetic fields of what's going on immediately. And the same way with aromatherapy, when you smell it or you cuff like a certain essential oil, a pure therapeutic essential oil, then you get that essence right away. It goes straight into the nerve, your blood system, your olfactory system to the back where you really can smell and you take it in immediately. But certain essential oils like doTERRA, the brand I like to use, most of their oil, some of their oils are ingestible. So these are two different things that we're talking about. The essential oils can be pressed from the roots to the seeds to the flower itself. And same way, some of the same way with the Bach flower remedies, the essence, but they're getting it from different seeds as well. But the aromatherapy is more for smell use of that nature, smell use. The Bach flower remedies doesn't really have a smell to it. It's more so you taking it, and it has an alcohol base. So yeah, aromatherapy more so changing everything. Well, both of them. I like to use both of them. Let me say that. What's the joint? Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But they can be steamed. They can be steamed, distilled, many ways. But a flower essence only like is taking the essence into an alcohol base. So I have a clean it in like an oil base. I'm having a
Okay.
side conversation
That's what I
about
was
the
going
essence.
to ask you. Like, so when you stream it and like when you're steaming it, does that take some of the impurities out that we may not need before we digest it, or you we use it raw?
Just depending on the plant itself. Because some plants you may not need to use the leaves. You may need to boil or have it sit. It may be roots and seeds. It just depends. It didn't depend on the temperature as well. So it just depends on the plant. When you learn about the essence, what's the temperature in it, what's the best way to extract. So some things
Okay.
may not be infused wise, but you can definitely do a alcohol base. Like I was saying, it's not necessarily can go in water because it may not give you the best benefit. You may need to dry it, crunch it down into a powder. So certain plants may require. It just depends on the goal of what's going on with your body. So certain people like dandelion leaves. Some people like the
Hmm.
dandelion root. If we touching on just more cleansing of the liver, or just like surface level eating dandelion leaves, just to, get a nice cleanse. But it's all into how deep you're going with the plant itself. So that's why I said we got to take our time with each plant. Don't say and take other people's word for it and say, oh, that's just a hibiscus plant. But it's like, what else can you use from that? Actually learn about the stem, the seeds, how to grow it. What's the best way you can cook the seeds, or you never know. Instead of just throwing the whole plant away and say, I just need the flower. So it just depends on the parts that we actually want to learn about and what's good for our body. Because everybody can't take everything. So we always have to be careful and see what we do by testing just a little bit instead of going straight in and taking a lot of it and your body starts to react and you throwing up and vomiting and diarrhea and you think you poisoned in because you probably over consumed it. You know, a lot of barks and roots are like that too. Don't overdo it for many days. You only be on it for 7 days or come off. It's certain things. It's all science as we dive into everything.
Islam.
Islam. But yeah, but when we do the essential oil class, we can definitely do that online and I can send you some samples. So usually with the essential oil classes online, I send like small little drams of little oils. And as we go through the class, you can get hands-on experience. So if the oil that I send you is like cilantro, clove, cinnamon, these are things that you can use into your household products. You can make it the clove into like a tea. You can drop a little bit of clove into your tea if you're doing like a batch. So it just depends on the class that I teach you. If it's dealing with more so digestible oils, then we'll go into a class solely just learning about the 5 oils that we can ingest and why are we ingesting them and the therapeutic use behind that and how far we can get our own so we don't have to depend on companies when it comes to distilling our own cinnamon or lavender. So it gets behind there, so we have to learn step by step when it comes to plants and not rushing into it.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
locked.
because I know for those who can you hear me?
I can you hear?
I can hear you. I was just want her to speak on she had made a remedy tea for the boys this past few days.
Yeah,
Cordeja,
I'll be
did you
trying
want
to be
to
quiet because I'm outside with the boys, sisters. But no, I made a tea just for your purely your immunity, and I just put some cinnamon, the actual cinnamon, not the ground, to give it a taste, and then I put some oregano, some thyme, I forget what else, and some ginger. And it tastes like a little horchata. I don't know if you ladies, ever had that, but it's like a little cinnamon, and they like it. We've been having this thing called microplasma, of course, after the elections and stuff. But we've been having this sickness going on lately, and I don't know. That's the only thing that I've ever turned to. I know Mom knows me. I don't really like using medications, and it's hard for me to face a doctor. But yeah, definitely.
so did you see any type of effectiveness? Did it work?
Oh, definitely. And I also make little ginger shots and some turmeric. And me and the boys will take a couple shots of that, and we're good. It'll knock it right on out. But before that, I would do baths, actually. And I know we were just talking about like the aromatherapy and like what it actually does. You have to be careful because it is very toxic. I mean, it could be toxic. It depends on just how much you can digest. I would suggest a vital reading, just like how your vitals are, what you actually need, and then go based off that. But yeah, absolutely. Um, I do,
It's
just
one.
all types of ways you can do it. It's really just all
Mhm.
about, what you know and, what you can get to. And that's really important,
Mhm.
especially within our community.
Islam, because it's just how you guys are saying that in instruction 35, where it says, "In the flesh of man, there is the essence of the resurrection of the dead. This essence, quickened by the holy breath, will raise the substance of the body to a higher tone." Y'all talking about aromatherapies and things like that that can raise us to a higher tone of thinking. And that's why, we can still tie it back to this turban and this tulip and this flower, because these essence obviously are super important in everything. They're obviously used in so many different ways that we can see, like, wow, how you're tying the herbalism into this. And so that's that, to me, that's that holy breath, bringing that essence. When I do use my essence, Sister Isha, it feels so good. Mute Day's mic. Mute her mic. Oh, my fault. My apologies. But yeah, so when I see that, I'm like, wow. It still brings me back to the essence, because then they talk about the soil and the way the seed is planted in the soil, and that seed planted in the perfect soil so it can unfold. So when you Isha, when we're outside and you're teaching about plants and you're teaching about the different things that the food sources and water sources, and even down to the animal planet. Like, Isha's so involved in the ecosystem altogether and how it works together, that unity comes in place. It's like, I love when she does that. So I have to say that it's so much that we can get from each other in learning from one another in these sense, because Sister Day, she is doing she sound like she messes with the herbs too. So see, we all play this important role in bringing this thing together, in creating this, even this tulip, even this turban together. It's bringing a unity, that right over left, that support of each other. I am my sister's keeper. I am my brother's keeper. Like, these things are important, and that essence helps us move in that way. Islam,
It's,
Sister Bashara,
I do
whoever.
not have. I cannot find my paper on the tulip and the turban, but I'm just gonna continue to camelback off of, since we're speaking on different elements. So basically, it's the crown. We just talking about the crowns. we consider that to be, the top of our head. So we are protecting our crown when we open up this little sacred thing that we've been taught of how to wear our turbans. We're protecting ourselves from a lot of bad energies that actually are within these ethers. Um, Even when it comes to like the ringing in the ears, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a good download to have. But sometimes when you're out there in the cares of the world and you're getting certain type of energies from other people, you don't know where you're getting your downloads from sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like if other people is actually, I know when I'm in the workplace, a lot of people, a lot of them elderlies like to touch my hair. And I don't like that. So I started wearing my turban without getting the demonstration on why we wrap our turbans the way we wrap them, how to wrap them, how much measurements we're supposed to have, and what does it honestly mean. So I had did my own research, and I'm not saying this was not given to me, but this is what I came up with. Basically, I wear my turban sacredly because I feel like it's my own salvation. When as I'm wrapping it, it's my salvation. How I'm building my salvation. We fall, but we come back up, and that's how I think that's how you go on the different levels of vibrations that you're on to get to the highest vibrations. Is that correct? Because and then the right, you wrap the left, and then you wrap your right. You always supposed to have the right overcomes
The
the
left.
left.
Remember,
So
5 on the left, 2 on the right. 5 fell, 2 held.
two held.
2 held their stations. Remember, 2 held their station. The seraphim
And then
and
the
the
seraphim
and the
and
cherubim.
yes,
They
the
held their
seraphim.
station. 5 fell. Remember, it's 7 Elohims. That's why you put 5 on the left. The right go over the left because 5 on the left. 5 fell. 2 on the head. They station. Islam.
So
That's what
that's
you
when
do.
the five, the left, you gave up the birthrights just to gratify the Lord self. But
And
man,
no
you regained it with
results.
the right to stay with his heritage, with the two that protects the two stations of what do the two stations represent? Your higher self?
Yeah, pretty much, yes. They the seraphim and seraph, seraphim and cherubim. I know I'm not saying
Cherubim.
it
There you
all
go.
the way correct, y'all. I be tearing those two names up all the time. But
Yeah.
yes, you said what were their what? Because I need to come back. Let me come back with that one because I'm not sure. What did you say? What was their duty? Is that what you said?
It was the duties. They had two duties.
Mm-hmm. They were the what were their stations? Do you remember their stations? Their stations are hold on. Wait a
It's
minute,
in
where is
chapter,
it?
I think it's in chapter one.
Mm-hmm. It is. But their stations are hold on. Let me find it. Does anyone know their stations?
Okay, so they rule the stations of the sun and the spirit of the mighty Allah who rule the solar stars are his protectors and his guide, and they will lead to victory.
Islam. Bam. I knew
Islam.
it was somewhere in there. Where you find it? Let me see. Where is it at? My apologies. Can you give me reference so I can find it?
It, it's in the creation of fall of man, and
Uh-huh.
it's on page 5 in my book that I'm in.
Okay.
Um,
What is it close to in what paragraph? And these sole attributes or let's
it
see.
is right after it says, okay, so it goes, without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength. And thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. Ooh, I went up all the way too far.
Come on.
Okay, so then you're going to go down to, yea, he must suffer trials and temptations many-fold.
Manifold. Okay, but let him know that the cherubim and seraphim that rule the stations of the sun and spirit of the mighty Allah who rule the solar stars are his protectors and his guides. So these are protectors and the guides and will lead to victory. Islam?
It is wrong.
So then that's their duty. That's what their purpose is, So those two held. They didn't fall off. They like, nah, we up here with you. We hanging on. We hanging on. And five fell. They love themselves. They love their devil, dragon, beast, Lucifer, and say lewdness, harm, all that. It's just easier to stay there. So when we raise ourselves into our higher essence, this is why it is important that we wear these things with honor and royalty. We wear our turbans with that because too many times people are playing in the turban and the fez, and they're misrepresenting what Prophet Noble Drawley brought. So we have to be more accountable. Don't you guys think? I mean, I know I need to hold myself more accountable, even, what I'm saying. Well, I'm gonna say for myself. I can't speak for everybody.
No, for self, that's the self journey. I would say for self, but it needs to be taught. Um, the history of why we wear these things,
Islam, definitely.
and it needs to be taught. If it is sacred. So therefore, um, that should be one of the first things that you should be taught. And I don't feel like everyone should even get the measure
Mm-hmm.
unless you know what you're getting yourself into. You know what I'm saying? Unless you know what it's really about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a lot of this is off topic though, but you know, a lot of I would just say all adepts are not sheiks. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us been given these types of wearing these garbs, misrepresenting what this is all about. And I think that causes more confusion than anything than absolute or someone who's out here trying to actually demonstrate to the public or to the people to show them how we honor ourselves, you know, like how we honor our nations, how we honor ourselves and conduct ourselves with our character.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just how we present ourselves out to the public, period. You know what I'm saying? Knowing who we are. So I just think that it should be taught more in depth than them just telling us we need to wear a turban.
Facts.
And just giving us a button and telling us the button it's like it's our symbol for the Moorish symbol of America. So I think that needs to be taught. So, but the demonstration that I had want to talk about was with the tulips and with the Ottoman Empire and what it represented. It was more so of being the warrior. You know what I'm saying? It was like we are the warriors. Like the tulip represents us being the warriors. The woman is the warriors. When you wear this turban, the turban you are representing the woman, the sacred woman. That is what this turban is about, the sacred woman. So, you know, and it's sealed with this button for the salvation. And it's showing how you're supposed to be uplifting the woman. You know, that's how I took it when I was taught. But it gets more in depth, and we probably have to do a continuation because I have a whole lot of notes that I wrote down, and I cannot find them for anything. And I just had them
It's all right,
yesterday.
maybe as sister Aisha Ra always say, divine time. She's gonna say, we just go with the flow. We gotta flow with it. So we gonna flow with it and allow it to be because I feel like we do need to come back and do it because some people missed it that wanted to come on with the back there. One of our sisters, her baby had an asthma attack, so we got it. I know they wanted to come on and demonstrate, huh?
I didn't know that. So they are just getting having all sisters come on and giving their demonstration of what they was taught about the turban.
Yes, definitely. I wanted to definitely do that. So I think we do need to come back and just do another one, add another one to this, add another one so that we can go a little deeper too. And then everyone has a chance to bring what they can bring into it. Sister Aishara, I would love for you to bring, because I kind of think even if we start dressing our turbans with a flower essence, whatever you might be going through for that day, you know what I'm saying? You should maybe be able to say, hey, Go grab you some lavender. Get you with this. You know what I'm saying? Just so we can feel that essence and help us rise into that first eye, into what this is all about. Tap in, tap in, tap in. Well,
You said tap in,
tap in, tap in, tap in,
tap in, and that's what we need to
tap
do.
in. Have you ever sat there and tapped your first eye? Like tapped it for like 20, 30 seconds and then hold your finger there and meditate?
I
I
haven't.
I tap my youngest when he's upset or when he's
Uh-huh.
sad. I kind of tap him in his throat area just a little bit, and
Okay.
I'll talk to him or we'll sing a song, and it usually calms him down.
Okay. All right. I like that. I like that.
In
Yes,
his
the
throat,
tapping.
the tapping in the throat.
Especially.
Oh, your throat.
But like
Yeah.
more like his chest. Yeah, and
Remember
I
you was
I
little,
usually
you be
tell
like,
him he doesn't have to deal with
So is that helping Rod with him trying communication and just how to communicate his feelings instead of him acting, saying no? And
Yes,
is that what is it?
definitely how to communicate his feelings and emotions. But typically, when he's angry, that is a harder emotion. And right now, I'm kind of going more into depth. It may not be anger. It may just be he can't. You know, it may not be anger, but I know anger is a very big emotion, especially for a 3-year-old. And he doesn't like to kind of get
Frustration.
it out. So
He's
he'll
frustrated that
usually
he
get
can't get it
upset, and
out.
I'll go and I'll tap him in his chest, and I'll let him know, huh?
I didn't say nothing.
What you say?
I didn't say anything, daughter. You continue.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's kind of lagging, but yeah, I would do that, and it works for the most part. Sometimes he's just not having it, but it definitely calms him down. It's more soothing. I forget where I seen it. I think it was on some type of social media.
I think what is it? Aisha? I can't Aisha. Am I pronouncing your name
Isha.
right, sister?
Aisha.
Isha.
Aisha.
Isha. You call her Isha because
You say
I call her
Isha.
Isha.
But
I call
I'm
her
seeing
Aisha.
an A. I. It's Aisha. Ain't
Aisha.
no E in there. It's I. It
That
is.
gonna make me say my full name for real.
She gonna make you go there, ain't she? You gonna say that
No,
though.
Aisha.
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 I don't want to mess up your name because I know how it feels. My name get butchered all the time.
I used to
And
butcher her name. She'd be like, "That's
and
not my name."
I let Sister Tay, you remember I let you guys say that for months. They just say Sister Bashira, and I didn't say that, and then I was like, it's Bashira. You know, and we just couldn't get it out. But it's Bashira. That's why I go this Bird, this Sister Bird. I'm fine with Bird. Um, yeah, I go with this whole day. But yeah, um, I text you, sister, about the Thanksgiving. Also, I wanted us
Oh yeah.
to wanted us to speak on the Thanksgiving and why do we celebrate, why we don't celebrate Thanksgiving, and why do people still think it's okay to celebrate Thanksgiving, and how basically, it was, I mean, we were taught that it's just a day of celebration of giving thanks of the good and bad, but there's an origin about Thanksgiving that I think that needs to be taught
All right.
to some of us, because there's a lot of us more that still celebrate Thanksgiving. Um, and the food, the meaning of the food, of the turkey,
Mm-hmm.
and the meaning of
Mm-hmm.
why they call it stuffing. It's a symbolic
Yeah.
meaning to stuffing in the
Okay.
Thanksgiving dinner with the turkey, because it was the Turks that
Mm.
was originally over here that considered the Indians, the Wampanoag Indians, were originated come, you know, from the Turks. They were Moors. So I wanted to speak about that
Nice.
when
Yes.
you had a
I
chance to
think
do
that's
so.
good. You want to do that for Friday, Holy Day?
You can.
Or you want to speak on that now? You want to speak on that
No,
now?
no. I think you put on your purse. Where you going?
Oh, I gotta take somebody somewhere. She
You
said,
about to
where you
dip.
going? I'm still here though. I'm still here.
I
You
think
ain't
you
got
put on your
time.
purse. My
I'm
apologies. I
just
was late.
trying.
We got our time all messed up, and I know y'all been on here for already an hour or so. So yes, I just wanted to give my honors to you
No,
for
you're
allowing me
good.
to come
No.
in. That's it, and that's all. And I wanted Cordasia to be on here. I'm trying to get my daughter to tap in as much as possible
Okay. All right.
so
All
she
right.
can
As
start
long she's
articulating
laughing.
her. She's
Islam.
laughing.
She's laughing.
What?
she,
Well, she said Islam. I can't believe she said Islam.
she
Okay.
said Islam. I wanna make a point to this what Aisha said. The turban is seen as a symbol of spirituality, dignity, and equality. It represents a commitment to maintaining discipline, righteousness, and respect for others. The turban covers the temples, which are said to help protect the wearer from the psychic negativity of others. The pressure of the turban also
Yes.
changes the pattern of blood flow to the brain. These are all reasons that women should also wear turbans. So earlier, when I was saying, it covers my double-edged sword. It covers my
Mhm.
light. It keeps my light so everybody don't see it. So Islam to that. Islam to that. The
Mhm.
temples are important because your temples are on the side of your head.
I'm
So
keeping the
that's why
ears
the
covered.
ears too, Sister Vashira,
Mhm.
covering the ears because you got to be careful what you're
Mhm.
listening to. Them
What you
soft
listening to?
persuasions. You know these
Yes,
soft persuasions. These people spit in your ear. You gotta be careful. So we gotta keep them ears covered too, so we don't hear them soft persuasions. We can really hear with ears that hear. See with eyes
yes.
that really see. So our eyes that see this turban helps us to do these things. It helps us to go deeper. It helps us to stop surface leveling things and thinking, oh yeah, this is the way. When it's really helping us and getting us to the more higher essence. Can you remember my shoes? Getting to the more higher essence of who we are. That's what I love so much. My shoes. Islam. Anybody else have
Islam.
any closing remarks before we go?
Mhm.
Sending peace and love. Isha, you ain't gonna send no peace and love today. Look at her. She's
Yeah,
about to
peace and
speak.
love.
All right, so all meetings are to be open and closed properly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Can we all stand as we recite our Moorish American prayer? We're going to turn to the east as going within. We put up 5 fingers on the left, 2 on the right, with our heels touching one another. Repeat after me. Allah,
Allah,
the Father of the universe,
Father of the universe,
the Father of love,
The
Father of
Father of
love,
love,
truth,
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 peace,
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 freedom,
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 and justice.
and
and
justice.
justice.
Allah is my protector,
Allah is
Allah,
my
is
protector,
protector,
my guide,
my
my
God,
God,
and my salvation
and my
my
salvation.
salvation,
by night
By
by
night
night
and by day
and by
and by
day,
day,
through his holy prophet,
through His
through
holy
his
prophet,
holy prophet,
Drew Ali.
through
through
Ali.
Ali.
Amen.
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 Islam. I love you guys.
Amen.
Friday, we talking about this Thanksgiving. Bring your degrees. I'm ready.
I got
Islam.
you.
Islam.
Islam.
Peace and love.
Peace and
Islam.
And
love.
I'm gonna send y'all. But
Peace
wait,
and
don't leave
love.
yet. Y'all
Get
gotta
on
stay
him
in the back
back.
office. Don't leave. Don't leave. He should come back. Oh
She
no.
said,
Shoot. All right. We're gonna go to the back office.